Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the most OP level 20 monk build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is very strong. You're able to punch people out left, right, and center. Now we're going to start off here as a monk. The flurry of blows here, so this is a bonus action attack, uses a key point, and it punches twice in quick succession, dealing a ton of damage. There's multiple ways that we can add even further damage to this build, which I'll show off in this video. And for our starting attributes, I think it's best to split them between wisdom and dexterity, having a bit of constitution. However, you can also dump constitution once you get to act 3 if you have the amulet of greater health. That's going to allow you to reallocate some stats into different areas, so you can go either way. We also can dump strength since we're going to be using strength potions, but something like this is pretty solid: 16 dex, 16 wisdom, and 14 constitution. So I'll show you all the gear for this build as well as we get later into this video, and also how to use this in combat because it is quite strong. Now level 2, we get ourselves the bonus action patient defense, step of the wind dash, and then the disengage here, and also the increased movement speed when not wearing armor or wearing a shield, an additional key point to fuel our attacks. There's a couple ways we can go about doing this. We'll show near the end. At level 3, we get to pick our subclass, and we're going to go with the way of the open hand. This is the strongest version of the monk. With this, we get our flurry of blows toppled, which is an even better version of flurry of blows. This can either stagger, knock them prone, or push the target 5 meters away. This can be very useful a bit later on. Now at level 4, we get ourselves the slow fall, which uses gain resistance to falling damage. But the big thing here is we got two choices. We can go higher up and take the Tavern Brawler here, which doubles our strength modifier and adds it to our attack rolls. And at this point, you're going to want to go to Auntie Ethel and buy 3 strength potions, level a character up, buy 3 more strength potions. So it's the easiest way to get yourself strength potions. We can also go with an ability score improvement. I would say dexterity is probably the best choice, although wisdom can also add a little bit extra armor class and defense, but I think dexterity is the way to go. At level 5, we get ourselves the extra attack, big power spike, and stunning strike, which is extremely useful. This can possibly stun the target, and there's a melee or a unarmed version of this, so very powerful. And then once we get ourselves to level 6, we get ourselves the manifestation of body, mind, or soul, adding an additional 4 to 7 radiant, psychic, or necrotic damage, and wholeness of body, regaining half our key points. Super useful. And we get 4.5 meters extra movement speed. And our attacks are counted as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to magical damage. So pretty good. We're going to go next to level 7 here, which gives us the ability to cast Stillness of Mind if we get Charmed or Frightened, which will automatically remove it, and Evasion, which is huge. So this allows us to dodge out of the way of certain spells. When a spell or effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage, and you only take half damage if you fail. So furthermore, you're taking less damage from all spells, which is huge. Level 8, we get ourselves another key point and a feat. Now again, we can go with ability score improvement, or we can take the Tavern Brawler here, and this, I guess we could have went with 13 constitution, but doesn't matter a whole lot, especially if we're using the amulet of greater health. Once we get ourselves to level 9, we get unarmed terrain does no longer slow us down, and we can jump an additional 6 meters when we're not wearing armor or using a shield. Ignoring difficult terrain is huge here because we're going to be running around and punching a lot. We also get the Key Resonation Punch, which allows us to deal a bunch extra damage, and you also get the ability here to do the Key Resonation Blast, which doesn't use an action or a bonus action, just uses your key points. Very, very useful. Next, we're going to actually, you could continue on, but I think it's best to actually add in, this is one of the most classic builds, but we're going to add a lot more to this. Adding in the Thief. Rogue Thief gives us an extra bonus action, which a bonus action can give us over 100 points of damage, so we want that. We also get the bonus action dash, disengage, and hide there. Level 3. This is, you can go the assassin, but I think that the best choice here is taking the Thief. That additional bonus action is a huge power spike. We get to continue, like, you get every single turn an extra bonus action, whereas the assassin is just first turn blitz damage. So this is very strong. Now, once we get to level 12, we're going to actually add in the Barbarian. Now, this is pretty strong because we got ourselves a rage here, which adds 2 extra damage when doing melee, improvised weapons, and throwing. And we also get the unarmored defense. So we'll actually get a higher armor class from this because this uses our constitution, which can go all the way up to 23 with the amulet of greater health. And in addition, we can also wear a shield with this if we want to go that route, but you do lose the extra 6 meters movement speed. So you have to evaluate if an extra 3 to your armor class is more important than your movement speed. A dangerous sense, you get advantage in dexterity saving throws against spells, traps, and surfaces. What's nice about that, dexterity saving throws are most common, so fireball. Getting advantage on them and also taking no damage if we succeed on them, that's huge. You also get the reckless attack there, but level 3 brings us our biggest benefit here. So when we go to level 3, we get the Wild Heart Barbarian. You may not have used this one before, but the biggest benefit is the Bear Heart. With this, when raging, you can use Unrelenting Ferocity, which heals you, but you have resistance to all damage types except Psychic. That is huge. So we become resistant to everything. If you get hit with a cold spell, you take half damage. You get hit with a fire spell, half damage. We're strong with this, so with that, we're going to go with that, and then we don't take any piercings. If you really need a heal, you got the Unrelenting Ferocity there, but typically we're not going to be using that often. And now, you could continue down the Barbarian path, but I actually think to maximize damage from my testing, it's actually best to add in the Druid. This sounds weird, but hear me out on this. So for cantrips, you can pick really whatever you want here. You could use Shillelagh here to add spellcasting to your attacks, but we have higher with dexterity. Thorn Whip's nice for just pulling targets around, and you can also go with something like Guidance, gives you a concentration and give it ability to check bonuses, especially if you're soloing the game. That can be useful. Now, a few different spells that we're not going to use often, like Healing Word can be good because this will give you a heal. Long Strider for increased movement speed, huge. We're going to take that. Fog Cloud can be good for setting up if you want to be stealthy. And then Thunderwave for the pushback is also really nice, but this does use Wisdom, which we have 16 of, which is all right, but alternatively, you can take Absorb Elements, take half damage from a magical attack, and you'll deal more with it. So, healing, you can take Healing Word off, or you can take Thunderwave off. Thunderwave's just nice because sometimes you get set up and knock people out of range with that. Enhanced Sleep's another choice. Tripling your jump distance can be really good, but you can have someone else set that up on you. Or alternatively, we can take this at next level. We get to choose our subclass here with a Circle of Spores. This will give us the Umbral, or hey, this gives us the Symbiotic Entity, which will give us 4 health points temporarily per druid level, but it gives us an additional 1d6 of necrotic damage on melee attacks, so even our unarmed strikes will get that. And you also get the Halo Spores reactions for a little bit extra chip damage and Bone Chill, which, I mean, not huge, but it's something that's there. Then we get to pick another spell here, so again, Healing Word, or you can go with the triple jump distance. It's pretty fun, because you can literally jump anywhere you want. And at level 3, we get to pick some level 2 spells. Again, we're not going to be using these spells too frequently. Like, you could go with, like, Pass Without Trace for increased stealth checks, which can blend pretty well with the Rogue. I love Hold Person, but we don't have a very high spell save DC, so I wouldn't recommend it. Spike Growth is another one, because you can set down difficult terrain, and you're going to lose it if you rage, but it's there. Same thing with Pass Without Trace. If you go into rage, you're going to lose that, but it's nice while you got it, I guess. Those guys can be 2 different choices you can go with. Let's go Spike Growth there, just to go with something. And then for our next level, we get ourselves another feat. So we could go with an ability score improvement, take our wisdom up if we wanted to, or we can add in like some other things like the Savage Attack, or whenever that's a melee weapon, my bad. We do use a weapon. I do have Rhapsody here. Alert is nice too for the +5 to initiative. Alternatively, you can max it or dexterity. Get another cantrip here. And for our prepared spell, we can go with Pass Without Trace again, can be useful, or Healing Word for picking up downed allies, but you're not going to be using it often because you'll probably be in your rage form for most of this. And Druid level 5 gives us the level 3 spells, which pretty funny to get, but we do get a good selection of them. So yeah, we can go with, like, I like Tidal Wave if you got Mistress spells, or Sleet Storm alternatively, because this can upset concentrations. Plant Growth is also good too, because Plant Growth is difficult terrain and it doesn't require concentration. So yeah, this is to set up water for your team. We aren't going to use spells often, but it's nice to have that utility there. This seems like a silly mix, but you're going to see the amount of damage that we can get off is incredible. So with this, we're going to hit a K and make sure that we have our manifestation on. I'm going to go with the manifestation of mind here. So you just have to drag it down from here, from your passives into the skill bar, and then you have it there. Now with this, we have pretty strong punches. So all together, so throwing on this outfit here, we got ourselves a Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, which will give us additional health whenever we succeed on saving throws, and we're likely to succeed on dexterity ones. And if any attacker misses, we can strike back, and we get a +2 to armor class. So we get 25 armor class at base here. However, we also can go ahead and add in a shield. What's funny is you can use a shield and just punch as well, so this somehow still works. So you can go ahead, you got a shield on and you punch. It's pretty funny, but that is an option that you do have, so that can be very useful. You don't need to use the shield if you don't want to, but since we have the Barbarian, we're able to add the Constitution defense. However, you do lose movement speed, so it's entirely up to you. You can also use a weapon if you want to, but I think it's best to actually just go with your punch attacks here, and then also we got for utility some different spells. We also want to go into our symbiotic entity form. So when we go into this will add additional damage under a punch. And you can see there, a single bonus action can hit for over 100 damage. And we also got psychic damage. So if we have the resonance stone that's going to hit for well over 100 damage, it becomes extremely effective. I also got the Mask of Soul Perception here, Cloak Protection, Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, Gloves of Soul Catching, Boots of Uninhibited Kashigo, Killer Sweetheart, Ring of Protection, Amulet of Greater Health. I like the Hellfire Hand Crossbow and Near Misser for just offhand attacks, because sometimes you can't hit, so it's nice to have an offhand attack for range. And also having Magic Missile is never a bad idea, because that's one spell that's guaranteed to hit, especially if you're in a tough position. You don't have to use the shield, it's entirely your choice, depends on what armor class you want. But having our Circle of Spores on makes our punches really strong. So you can see there with a single punch we're dealing that much damage, which is really great. And then we also have some nice different spells here to be able to do different things. Like we got the Halo Spores if we want to deal a little extra damage. We got our different monk attacks here. And then we got ourselves Guidance too, which we can use as concentration. Longstrider, which will also give us increased movement speed, so we can actually run around quite a bit. And before combat, you can also go ahead with Enhanced Leap. So it becomes pretty powerful. Now, what we're going to do in terms of combat, I'll show you the solo guide for this. This is one of the most powerful single target damage classes in the game. In addition to this, if you have Ascended Astarion, he's going to be your strongest version of this class, so you can go ahead with that if you want, because Astarion's able to add a 1d10 of necrotic to his punches, which further increases it. You also got Wild Shape if you need to for like a get out of jail free card, and you also have an Enemy Dead, kind of a fun spell. But getting the ability to Enhance Leap, this makes us jump around a lot. So getting into a combat encounter, we can use like a Fog Cloud, or we can even set up with Plant Growth too, which is really nice, because this doesn't require concentration. So we set that down, we'll get into combat, and we aren't slowed down by it. So we can run ahead right up to whatever enemy we want and punch them right in the face. So I guess I would recommend using this to crowd control, but what we can do is we can go in. Your rage does use a bonus action, so you do have to account for that, but Bear Rage, we get extra damage on our punches. So yeah, that just becomes a lot stronger, and we're probably going to just boom, that took her out in one punch. That's crazy. So yeah, that was more than I thought it was going to be. We aren't able to jump through this, but I don't want to make this too overpowered, so we'll just wait around here. And you also get a bonus action on Arm Strike, but it's better to actually just use your Flurry of Blows if you have the key points available. Now, what's crazy about the Open Hand Monk mixed with the Thief is those two bonus actions is you can attack 4 times, and those 4 attacks is actually more like 6 attacks, because the Flurry of Blows you strike twice, and you end up punching harder than most weapons. So it's very strong, and with the increased psychic damage, you can literally like take out most enemies in one go. And yeah, what this will look like with a Flurry of Blows, we can also push the target back 5 meters. So if you got an advantageous position to push them off of somewhere, boom, that's nice. And that took him out. This just goes to show how powerful this build is. It's literally overpowered. And we can also knock them prone, so boom, that took her out. Yeah, that was just silly. And we got the movement speed to go around, and then furthermore punch them in the face too. Or if you don't got the ability to punch, you can also just go with a crossbow attack, and the crossbow attacks will actually add your necrotic damage, so it's better than doing nothing. Critical hit, and then followed up with another one. If we were close to the punch, I would prefer to punch, but yeah, that's how you can one turn them. I'll also show this off against a bigger encounter. So if you want to make this even stronger, you can add in the Gaunter Mail Bow, and with this we can apply Celestial Haste to ourselves, which gives us 2 actions, 2 bonus actions. We become unstoppable. So at this point you can set up, like, you can go with a Plant Growth here, which is nice crowd control. Setting that up sometimes won't set up combat, and then you can wait to get your action back. And this is good for crowd control, because once you go into the rage, you still got that ability. So let's go ahead here and just go punch. I guess I could probably short rest to get back my key points, but you don't even really have to, because this is this strong. So we'll just go ahead with a big punch, and he took that like a champ. We'll go in and attack, show off how powerful this can be against a number of enemies. So I guess we lost our action there, so that's our second action. And then we go ahead with another punch here, boom, and that didn't take them out, but I guess we'll go over and start punching them, because we got ourselves Plant Growth there, which is nice. And I guess if you can line this up, you can. That just took them out. No punch or no knockout necessary. That took them out too. You'll get used to that. Typically, whenever you go with a punch, you just knock them right out. Alternatively, we can also go with 2 levels of the fighter too. This is going to give us extra damage, which is nice. We don't have any resonating key on anyone. We also can heal ourselves from catching a soul, so if you're getting low on health, you can heal. But had I added in the fighter, the nice thing about fighter is with that we get action surge. The first turn defense is just crazy, and yeah, we're gonna block a lot of hits, so you'll see that often. If we had the shield, we'd be doing that a lot more. But you can see here, plant growth is really useful because it just ties everybody up. Not that you're gonna want to spellcast often, but I didn't even go into my rage form yet. Miss. Yeah, no one's hitting us. That's not possible. We might get hit here every once in a while, but the armor class is just so high, and we can resist spells like so well. Oh, they got a critical off on us. Critical was a surprise, and we're holding our haste, so that's good. And then for the heals, that's fine. We don't care about the plant growth because we're able to punch through it, but yeah, we can also go into our rage form too. So it's rage you can only go into when you're in combat, so you do use one of your bonus actions, and you do lose your celestial haste. I kind of forgot about that. But then we got our pushing attacks too, so you can push them back into the plant growth. That's ideal because that'll just get rid of them. But punch, yeah, we're doing serious work here. So yeah, this is just very powerful, and we took them out too. Crazy. The nice thing is having this much movement is huge because we can just run around and keep everyone trailing along. The extra armor class that you get from haste is really nice because this helps with avoiding attacks. We would have a pretty near impossible to hit if we have the shield on as well as using any type of haste, because yeah, but even so, you're seeing we're resisting damage types, so even if we were to get hit with any of these spells, they're only going to deal half damage at best unless it's a psychic attack. So the only thing you're really weak against is mind flayers, but the thing is you just go in and punch them. I don't know why they teleported into there. Man, gravel, this sucks. So I had a pretty unlucky streak here. Just want to blitz and show off the crazy amount of damage that you can do. So yeah, your bonus actions are literally going to be your best friend here, and playing within the fog cloud or any type of elemental or any type of difficult terrain that you make. So if you're using like plant growth here, you can literally shut everyone down. So we're just going to go bananas here with the attacks just to show off what the monks are capable of doing on a good day. And yeah, that is that. It also has pretty great movement speed, so you can just run around and just keep blasting people to smithereens. So yeah, the monk is very strong, and that is the monk 20th level monk subclass multi-class build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.